Hello guys, Wilsten here. I hope you guys are doing well, having a great day or a great night. And before jumping into the charts, don't forget to smash the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe as well. Let's do it. So let's start here on the monthly. You guys who follow me for some time are familiar with this setup, which is our perpetual setup. And on the Champions Club, we've been looking for this level for a long time. And as you guys can see, we end up rejected from this one. If I'm not wrong, I mentioned this in the previous video, that Bitcoin never, since the all-time high, never stayed above this level. And we saw many people calling for a straight bull break from here. But the problem is, this kind of behavior, I will try to be accurate here, okay? It's exotic. So the chances for a scenario like this one to play out are below 5%. Okay, so it's a exotic scenario. It doesn't happen. If you look for like 100 different assets and bull breaks after a long period of time, bullish continuation, you are not going to find this kind of behavior anywhere. Okay, so don't take my word for it. You can do your research and you will find it. So and you will see, sorry. Yeah, so we are going to address all the levels on the weekly chart, but for now let's go back here to $12,014. That's the key. That's our key level on the monthly chart. And again, Bitcoin never made it, okay? And so we end up rejected here, and this was our bearish trigger. That's when I went full bearish because we didn't had bullish continuation. We were behaving in a bearish way and people calling for moon. That's when I went 100% bearish. But we are going to talk more about this. But again, this is a micro evening star, which is bearish. We end up rejected. Then on the second attempt, there is a big head and shoulders here, which I'm going to show you. And then we end up with breaking bearish from the head and shoulders. Yes, so now let's go for the weekly chart, just a second. Okay, so let's take a look again on the bigger picture. Oh, first, just a second. There are some people addressing this way. And this is not valid, okay, because this is a bearish setup, not a bullish setup. So they can identify the trend, they can measure patterns, and then can identify which pattern is bullish or bearish. Okay, that's one of the reasons these people are almost wrong. I mean, wrong almost all the time. Okay, so let's go. Hold your hats, cool your jets. I'm going to be quick here. Okay, we were speculating about this level here to be the top for this range. And again, there is another significant thing here. If we take a look on this scenario, we are talking about almost 6 months going up, which is around 5 months and 15, 20 days. So there are limitations for the market when the market is not ready, both ways, bull or bear. There are rules, like exactly limitations. And so here we end up with almost the same scenario. We went up for 5 months and 15 days. So I'm still waiting for the new mouse. This one is not great. Okay. So it's a very similar scenario for both ranges here. And like we talked about, a straight bull break would be exotic. Okay, so this doesn't happen. uh, to be honest, I never saw any pattern like this one breaking bullish from here. Okay, so this is not even natural. But yeah, let's keep going. The second, yes. So let me go a bit closer. Okay. We have the rejection from the 12,000 range on first. Then we traded inside bar trade. Then again inside bar trade. But the bots, yes, the bots. So I don't talk about algos, data. This is claptrap stuff. Okay, but we know by a fact 95% of all trades are made by bots. Yes. Okay, so then they bought the dip uh, from 11,129. They bought the dip right after. That's when we went for the bull break, which was a bullish attempt. We end up rejected, and we end up with a bearish hammer. Then they tried again, and that's when we end up with the head and shoulders, which we've been talking about in the Champions Club for a few weeks before the head and shoulders was fully developed. And so there is a thing here that I want to show you. So we still don't have a valid pivot here, but we are probably going to have one soon. And let me show you here. Second is not right. Yes, so we still don't have the valid pivot. And yeah, so we there is so this is the guy here that I wanted to talk about on the weekly before we jump into the smaller time frames. Just a second. So right here, we are developing a bearish structure right now, and the same folks we've been calling for moon here are still calling for moon here because people are calling them out, and they are not going to give up. And by the time they will start to talk about bearish scenario, that's when Bitcoin is going to go up. Okay, that's exactly how this is going to happen. So my 50 cents here, we have odds, especially at this range here, 9 and 3, 90,300, just a little below, also 90,138. So at this range, we have odds for what? For another head and shoulders. And then we break bearish, but it's not going to be like this one or even like this one. Okay, it's going to be a soft land, and yeah, that's the move we are been waiting for a long time that should happen. So this was the picture that we had back in the day. Believe it or not, Bitcoin was ready. But then we had the C19 event, which broke the confluence for this pattern and range right here. Okay, maybe by design, we don't know. That's something we will never know. But yeah, so we had the valid pivots and evidence. Okay, so now let's go for the 3 days. Just a second. Okay, so there is nothing clear here. So only the candle is clear. So this is our shooting star from the rejection on the 12,473. Now let's go for the daily. That's where the show begins. Yes. So it's exactly right here. Just a moment. Yes, so this was the range for our head and shoulder setup, which played out beautifully. And let me see if I'm not missing anything here. Okay, so now let's take a look on the 4 hours because it will be more clear and with more details. This is just for you guys to have an idea from the macro to the micro. Yeah, so here we have plenty of details. Just a moment, let's do this again because there are key things here to acknowledge. Again, this is not support and resistance, okay? I don't use this kind of approach. I don't look to the left, only to the right. For those of you who are following me for some time, you are aware of my method. Yeah, so just for the sake of this example, this is my tool. If I zoom out, you will be able to see this on the whole picture. But yeah, and some of you also saw this on Twitter. Okay, so here, let's do a quick recap here. And another thing to remember is this. We had like 6 to 1, if I'm not wrong. So since the previous low on March, we had around 6 or 7 head and shoulders structures that broke bullish. So we had like 6 or 7 bear traps. And before this one was completed, we've been talking about in the Champions Club that this was not going to be odd. That should be something that we could expect because they keep fooling people for a long, long time. You know, trap, trap, trap after trap. That at some time it comes back. Okay? And that's odd that we end up with a top on a head and shoulders. That's interesting. Okay, so here, so this structure here, let's break this down. Okay, second. Yeah, so this is a different structure than the one for the head and shoulders. Let me show you. Right here. Oh, and there is also another thing that we have to talk about, which is Korean exchange. Yes. Okay. So from the first structure, this is the place where people start to FOMO and they started to long with 50x, 35, 100x positions, and then we had the like quote security measures for some exchanges. So for example, Binance, the leverage people, and liquidated many folks, and BitMEX had to make a move, and also other markets as well, to liquidate all those positions. And then right after we had this big rejection, liquidating the shorts. Yes. So this was wild. Yeah. So right after, that's our left shoulder. This is our head. And this is our right shoulder. Okay, crystal clear, no problem here. But there is more. Since the first video, I've been talking about how Bitcoin was going up, but not in a bullish way. And so again, people said that I was wrong, we were going for moon, etc. Same stuff over and over and over. Okay, so let's address all the behaviors, each single one, to see how this played out. And yeah, so we were accurate again. Just a second, I'm going to be fast here. And here in the last one, we even had a rising wedge. Okay, so we broke bullish from a rising wedge. that was another bear trap, because people who went short here, people who really make money in the market, okay, not people who use like small leverage or trade small amounts. No, no, we are talking about big money. So those guys end up liquidated right here, okay, and so the top was 1257. We had a 1250 target on the Champions Club private video, and then my short was 11993, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so this was my short position. I shorted at 50x. Okay, right now I am like in 5 or 6 bitcoins in profit in this single trade alone. So again, about the behavior, so all the way bearish. Okay, we acknowledge this in advance, and no news, we end up with the bear break. Just a second. Okay, an interesting thing here is this. Let me see if I can do this in a proper way. Just one moment. Yes, so it was around this candle or the next candle. That's exactly when they released the South Korean exchange problem. I don't remember the name. It's Thumb something. Sorry, I really don't remember. But they were top volume back in 2017. And so right after the news, that's where the magic began. So this is not odd at all that they made this move right here, okay? And there is another interesting thing. Let me see. Oh, okay. So there is no news. So most people out there, most people, like 95% plus, actually not 95, 92% plus, they don't respect or acknowledge the rules of the markets and for assets and etc. Okay, they don't. We had a big move here that was not on Bitcoin, but we've been acknowledging this for weeks in advance, and we've been talking about this on weeks in advance, and people didn't care to listen. Again, and actually there was two big triggers, two. So the first one is related with Bitcoin, but it's not Bitcoin. And the second one was the harvest, that I have been talking about this since 2018. So for 3 years, and people still say, you know, this is craziness, you are crazy, you don't know anything. So I can retire today if I want. I can retire. And what these people can do? They're just keeping losing their money, you know. So yeah. And also about the harvest stuff, there is people who said, well, you don't know nothing, whatever, you know. And I keep being right, and they keep being wrong, and they never attack the idea. They always attack the author, so they can prove I am wrong or what I'm showing. So this is not about me, it's about what I'm providing, the info, and they can't, you know. And so the same thing keeps happening over and over and over again, and people don't care to do the research, to learn, to study, and they always end up in the wrong side of the trade. So how can this be? How far is this? But okay, and sorry for this, let's keep going. So the news about the Korean exchange was by design, released by design, right on top of a bearish pattern that was going to break bearish anyway. So this, folks, this is just a public excuse to tell people, especially the retail investor, why he's losing his money. And I already proved this many times, because the average Joe, he's always scanning the media, scanning YouTube and many media to for clues on what to do, how to do, where to buy, where to sell. And these people always end up trapped. Okay, so there is another thing that I already proved, by a matter of fact, with data, like everything documented. And yeah, so let's keep going. And so this another thing that we have here, just a second. Let me see if I can grab the picture here. Just a second. I don't know if I still have it. Oh, here it is. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on. Okay. So, oops, I'm back. Just a moment. This mouse is not the best. The new one will arrive soon. Okay, so I also been talking about this for months, not only months, years in advance. And this is only the first step. Yes, only the beginning. It's not over yet. So by September 2, guess when we end up with the bear break on Bitcoin? On September 2, or that was on the end of the third candle, even before the big one, right here. So let's acknowledge this with arrows, shall we? Just a second. I try to be fast here. So this is very interesting thing. I know after this, many of you will do your research. So imagine this as a crosshair, okay? Actually, we have two here. I know it's not symmetrical, but yeah. So something like this. And this one too. Okay, now let's talk about the moon. So have this in mind. Some people, they think or they believe I am an esoteric guy, but I'm not. I live a normal life like all you guys do. But what I do is this. I acknowledge how my foes behave, how they move, how they do their stuff. By this way, I can be in quote in the same train they are. So this is the way we do it, okay? So I don't follow like esoteric stuff, but I address this, okay? I acknowledge this. So September 2, full moon. The moon will be located on the opposite side of the earth as the sun, and its face will be fully illuminated. This place occurs at So that's when things start to get interesting here. This full moon was known by early Native American tribes as the corn moon because the corn is harvested around this time of year. But this is half data because this is public data. Okay, this kind of behavior, it's not like so the American tribes was not the first to do this or to acknowledge this. This is ancient knowledge, so which means this is happening over and over and over for thousands of years. Yes, don't take my word for it. You can do your research, okay? And so we had both events here. So now ask yourself, is this odd coincidence? Because for me it is not, okay? And yeah, we are taking fully advantage of such things since 2018. And yeah, let's keep going. So we had the bear break, and there is another interesting thing here. Bitcoin is going to develop a full bearish pattern around this range. This is not over. We are going to break bearish probably before September 19. So this is our time frame. Actually, we have another one right here, which stands for September 21 and 23, which stands for the autumn. Okay. So the harvest before the autumn. This never changed. And so another thing here, let me see. Ta-da-da, ta-da-da. We are going to have two kinds of action here. We are going to have people who will drill first blood on this range here, 9678, like they did in the past. So it's something we are already expecting, and also the market makers, they are aware of these people behavior. And yeah, so they're going to be the first ones to be liquidated or stop it out. And then right here we have our key level, which stands between 96 and 80. Yes, but this is not going to be over so soon, because as you guys can see here, so this is a key level. There's a lot of value traded around this level, but this is not the top range in value for Bitcoin. This is the second range, not the first. And in my humble opinion, we are going to visit the first level soon. Okay, so let's keep going. And then what we will have odds here for? Another head and shoulders structure. So it doesn't matter how this is going to happen. I'm not trying to be accurate here. And for this range here, this is going to be our top, our mini battle of midway, and this is going to be the bottom for this range. Okay, this range only. This is a methodology that I use for technical analysis and for one of my trading setups. Okay, so this is nothing new. You guys who are following me for some time are already familiar with this methodology. Okay, and yeah, so I don't want this to be a long video. Just a second. Yes, so we need this one. And then this scenario playing out, this is going to be the last move before Bitcoin goes straight parabolic. And why? Second. I will try to be fast here. Okay. So we have three groups of people right now. If I can do this. So just a second. Okay, so we have the 1 second. Okay, so we have the opium folks that will keep saying it's going to move, it's going to move, it's going to move since the thing happened, and then they will say, oh, it happened, oh yeah, I was right, but they have been wrong since 2018. Okay, so those are the eternal bulls. Okay, but they don't trade, they don't invest, so they are insignificant. And then we have what? Second. Yes. Then we will have the ones waiting for new lows. Yes, yes. People have, some of these folks have been calling for a bear break like this one. But have this in mind, folks. Most of these people calling for new lows on Bitcoin, don't be fooled by these people. Most of these people are making money by sharing fake info on YouTube and Twitter. Yes, they want you out of the game before the magic happens. So they keep talking, new low, Bitcoin breaking bearish, new low, breaking bearish. And their analysis is always broken. It's always incorrect. Okay? So remember this. They share the seed of the fear and the FOMO. People will be scared, are going to sell their coins. The magic happens. They will be left behind. Okay? Remember this. Especially Twitter and YouTube is full of these people. There is plenty of them. They are always sharing contrarian info non-stop day after day. Especially the opium cat. The guys who been saying to people to sell their house, don't pay their mortgage or their loans, and buy cryptos and shit coins and all this stuff. So the same thing again, and people keep listening to these people. It's it's mind blowing. And here we will have the, so let's use the X for these ones here. So let's go again. The opium folks that will be always calling for moon even while Bitcoin keeps going down. The new low people who will be left behind, they will sell their coins and will lose the run. And the X folks, that is these guys that are like this. Bitcoin goes down, oh, I'm not going to buy because it's going to keep going down. So something like this. Oh, I'm not going to buy here because it's going down. And then Bitcoin goes down again. Oh, I'm not going to buy here because Bitcoin will keep going down. And then Bitcoin goes down. And then what they are going to say, I will wait a bit more because Bitcoin will go, down just one more time, and then I'm going to nail the bottom and I will take all the, I'll make a beautiful trade. But what is going to happen, folks, is this. Don't take my word for it, please. You can ask other people who are in the market for a long time, people who have been in the 80% club. What is going to happen is going to take out most people off the market. I mean, people will be left behind. So, almost nobody, only a few people that I am aware, they are expecting for a straight moon shot. But again, not now. We have even a time frame and range for it. And the only move people are not expecting, it's exactly a move like this. Okay, in the Champions Club, I shared videos about this with more details, with math, key levels, technical evidence. Okay, so this is just another way to look at this. And then a lot of people will be left behind here. A lot of people, and then what they will have to do? They will have to keep buying high and have a awful risk-reward scenario. Okay, so this is my 50 cents and why I believe this scenario can happen. So there are two reasons. The first one is the pattern behavior. Okay, so this pattern will deliver such a move. This is a fact. Don't take my word. You can look on the same scenario on multiple assets in different markets and you are going to see the same thing. Okay, so this is a fact, not my opinion. So we've been talking about the scenarios. Okay, so we talk about most people are not expecting this kind of move. Which was the other thing that I already forgot? Okay, sorry, I just forgot what I was going to talk about. So there is a lot of things, I've been very, very busy in the last few days. But let me see what was. So this scenario, it's the one only a few key people are expecting, only a few, very, very few. And we know among all the markets, only 8% are profitable. Okay, so if we compare 8% with 22%, it's only few people, key people. And these people are looking for this. Okay, while all the others are looking for many, many other things. And so the market is going to behave in a way that are going to leave behind the highest number of people possible. So the unexpected move has a big chance to happen. And again, not to mention the outcome from this kind of structure. And I can prove to you, and I will prove. Just a second. Stay there, hold on. Just 1 minute. This is going to be fast. Yes, this is XRP chart. Okay, here it is. Let me find the square. Okay, right here. This is the same behavior for Bitcoin right now that we have for XRP back in the day. And back in the day, we have the same kind of nonsense talk. For example, XRP is going to zero, XRP is going to die, XRP is a scam, is a security, whatever, all this trash talk. And we know what happened. And it is going to happen again, okay? So this is just one example of what is going to happen with Bitcoin. Okay, just one example. You can look in many assets out there and you are going to find the same kind of behavior and structure outcome because this is based on math. Okay, we know. So let's make another thing here clear. Just 1 more minute. The markets candles are not moved by average people. The markets are made and moved by market makers, which are the institutions. Okay, so we are in 2020 and people still believe that price goes up because the average Joe is buying, and this is not true and will never be. Okay, so guys, I think this is it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this analysis can help you in any way. Maybe improve your trading setup. Thanks for your time, thanks for your patience, thanks for your support as well. And please don't forget to smash the like button, share with your friends, and subscribe as well. I will see you guys soon. See ya.